The National Electrical Code, or NEC, does not specifically address the height requirements for steel support cables for communication lines over driveways. However, there are several other relevant standards and regulations that may apply. Firstly, the American National Standards Institute, or ANSI C2 2023 National Electrical Safety Code, or NESC, requires that communication lines over driveways be maintained at a minimum height of 18 feet above the ground. Secondly, the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, Part 17, Construction, Marking, and Lighting of Antenna Structures requires that antenna supporting structures, including cables, be designed and installed to withstand anticipated wind and ice loads. Thirdly, the FCC Part 68, Registration of Telecommunications Equipment, requires that telecommunications lines be maintained at a minimum height of 15 feet above the ground. Local municipalities may have their own ordinances or regulations regarding the height requirements for overhead utility lines. Based on these standards and regulations, a recommended minimum height for steel support cables over driveways would be 18 feet above the ground, as required by the NESC. The height requirement may vary depending on the specific location and circumstances. It is always advisable to consult with the local utility company and building officials to determine the applicable requirements. In the case of the pulled-down pole, the steel cable spanning 163 feet and anchored at only 12 feet above ground did not meet the minimum height requirement of 18 feet. This could have posed a safety hazard to vehicles and pedestrians. Suggested actions include contacting the utility company to report the low-hanging cables and support cables, requesting a prompt inspection and maintenance of the affected lines, implementing a regular inspection program to identify and address potential hazards, and considering installing warning signs or barriers to alert drivers of low-hanging cables. It's crucial for loss control managers and anyone working with or near overhead cables to be aware of these requirements and take proactive steps to ensure safety and compliance. The NEC, while not directly addressing support cables, provides a framework for electrical safety that should be considered in conjunction with the NESC and FCC regulations. The NESC's 18-foot requirement is a key benchmark for ensuring adequate clearance over driveways, preventing contact with vehicles and equipment. The FCC regulations on antenna structures and telecommunications equipment further emphasize the importance of proper design, installation, and maintenance of overhead cables. Local regulations may add additional layers of requirement, reflecting specific community needs and conditions. When dealing with overhead cables, it's not enough to simply meet the minimum height requirements. A comprehensive approach to safety includes regular inspections, proactive maintenance, and clear communication with the utility company and local authorities. Warning signs and barriers can be effective tools for alerting drivers and pedestrians to the presence of low-hanging cables, reducing the risk of accident. In situations where cables are found to be below the minimum height, prompt action is essential. Contacting the utility company to report the problem and requesting immediate repairs is the first step. It's also important to document the issue and any actions taken, in case further investigation or legal action is necessary. By understanding and adhering to the relevant standards and regulations, loss control managers can help protect their employees, customers, and the public from the hazards associated with low-hanging overhead cables. This proactive approach to safety not only reduces the risk of accidents but also demonstrates a commitment to responsible operations and compliance. Remember, safety is a shared responsibility. By working together, businesses, utility companies, and local authorities can create a safer environment for everyone.